You
question last year, Eric. Okay. Do you get a promotion every year on your job? No, right? So every year you work is a failure. Yes or no? No. Every year you work towards something, towards a goal, right? Which is to get a promotion, to be able to take care of your family, to be able, I don't know, provide the house for them or take care of your parents. You work towards a goal. It's not a failure. It's steps to success. And if you've never, I don't know, I don't want to make it personal. So there's steps to it. You know, um, Michael Jordan played 15 years, won 6 championships. The other 9 years was a failure. That's what you're telling me. Well, I'm asking you a question. Yes or no? Okay, exactly. So why are you asking? It's a wrong question. There's no failure in sports. There's good days, bad days. Some days you're able to not. Some days is
It's about to be me for the next hour and a half here. There's no failure in sports. There's steps to success. No failure tonight. Losing by 50, getting butt raced by the Memphis Grizzlies. It's okay. It's not a big deal. Not at all. Welcome back, Andy Liu. How are you doing, my brother?
NBA Cup Milwaukee Bucks champion, by the way. I'm doing good, man. Do I look? I mean, I got a hood on because you don't want to see the hair that no haircut being done. You knew this was coming, you know what I mean? But other than that,
you look good.
We're living. Thank you.
How's the little guy?
I can hear him screaming right now. So now,
fun, right?
you know the times when we've done pods for the last 2-3 years, and I see your face kind of droop a little bit. I can't hear your kid screaming. I don't think you can hear mine, but yeah, he's just shrieking. I'm sitting here like, we're gonna talk about a 50-point blowout, and I'm gonna let my wife take care of it. I'm gonna let her take care of it. You know what I mean?
There we go. There we fucking go, guys. Hey,
let's go.
Get $50 instantly when you play $5. Presented by Prize Picks. Make sure you use the promo code, guys. $50 instantly when you play $5. Welcome to Light Years. I'm excited to have you back, brother. It's been a interesting 2 months for the start of the season. The highs of the highs, everything looked good. I was like, oh shit, I might have underrated this team. They might be better than I thought, and then reality comes back, and what a fitting fucking time for you to come back. A fitting time. You let me and Tommy do like the bullshit, like we believe stuff. You're like, get that 15-game run out, pretend it's real. I'm coming back when it's time to do the heavy lifting.
Really, really came into tonight thinking the opposite. Honestly, was really thinking this is the one. They just made the Schroder trade. What was that trade? Like 3, 4, 5 days ago.
Sure, but first game since then. So.
Yeah, really. Like I was like, oh man, I really pumped up. I kind of want to, listening to you guys. I was like, oh man, I want to get in on this pod, dude. But then I was like, all right, Risa was like, hey, it's been a while. Shouldn't you do a show? And then you texted me, and I was like, yeah, it's time to come back. Turns out, come back to, is this the worst game, just from front to end, by the Warriors played in like 2 seasons ago? Didn't they lose a game by like 60 to Toronto or something like that? This has got to be the worst game since that one. Because Sam, I think you and I don't think we're in a bad mood, because I think we've seen it all from this team anymore. But this is the type of shit where guys get fired. Is what this game looked like to me.
The optimist take would be they're integrating a new starter. They come out and they can't hit a shot to start. Like, say what you want.
Right.
You start the game going 2 for 20. Like, you're just going to suck. And then next thing you know, it snowballs. So we shouldn't read too much into it. And 5 to 8 games from now, we'll look back and laugh at this game. The other side of that is good teams. This doesn't happen to good teams.
Yes.
Sorry. Like I don't care about 3-point variance. I don't care about like the modern NBA and it's a long season. Everyone gets into it. Again, Dennis Schroder, you're excited about a new team. You've had a long break. I think the long break is actually the most disconcerting part because Steph and Draymond looked lifeless most of the game. And they've played one game in 8 days? Like, they're not fatigued. They're not tired. This just looked like a game where it was like, all right, we don't have it tonight. We're gonna quit. And that's disconcerting. If it was the second half of a back-to-back, I'd be like, you know what, man? 36. That just happens. But
you nailed it right there. They quit. They quit, and that's not what good teams do. And you go down by 20 points in the first quarter, you don't really expect this team to win. Memphis is really good, so you go down by 20. If they go down by 20, maybe in Charlotte they'd be okay. They could come back and win the game. But this game, you knew it was over in the first quarter. But for them to go down by 60 points, and like you just said, they quit. Like Steph and Draymond had statistically their worst games ever in their career. They went 0 for 13 combined. But beyond that, I mean, everyone else is terrible. I mean, did a single player play well tonight? And so I don't know.
Wiggins hit his shots.
Right.
I mean,
well, Wiggins trying not to get traded. He's trying not to get, and you can tell.
That's the only player on the team who did anything tonight in general. Yeah, no, you're right. It was a top-down no-show. It was what I hate about these games is when they go down, they quit. Like that's the thing that really bothers me. And first game, Steph hasn't hit a field goal since 2010. 2010, Andy. That's not good. It's not good.
What was I doing in 2000? I was in college. 2010. Wow.
Steph was a rookie. First time he's played over 10 minutes in a game and had 0 field goals. I guess there's been a couple games where he like sprains his ankle in the 3rd minute and like technically no.
Does he look washed to you? Maybe we'll start with that. Does he look? Yeah, that's the scuttlebutt, Samuel.
I don't really want to go there, but he's not playing. He's not playing with the vigor I saw over the summer at the Olympics. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. I can't tell if he's washed or purposely sending a message, but it doesn't look good. This is like some of the worst basketball I've seen Steph play in an extended period of time. Tonight, I don't even think he got into the game. You know what I mean? Like I don't think he got into the game at all. Fire fucking everybody, including Steph. That's where I'm at right now. But no, I mean it's a fair point. Like we're usually pretty soft on Steph for every reasonable reason. The GOAT. We're not gonna go on him because he has a bad night. But it was like, yeah. I mean, the chat saying he didn't even try. I think that's actually kind of a fair way to summarize his play tonight.
So I think it's all types of different. So number one, I think he's obviously injured right now, and he's trying to fight through it, which is he may at some point he might have to do the LeBron and just take a week or 2 off and just go to Germany. Go to Miami. Miami. Maybe he doesn't have to go to Germany and go to Miami. Figure it out. So that's 1. 2. You can tell he's doing a Steph thing. He's trying to get people involved. I think he understands, as always, like if they're not going to get a good Buddy Hield game on offense, like or Dennis Schroder game on offense at this point, it's like they're not going to win. He can't just go out there and score 40, right? But what happens is if he's not going to come out and be aggressive and he's not going to make shots, then it kind of snowballs. And then I think the third thing, I think you brought it up, is I think he might be nearing the end of I've just had enough of this team. He just might be sitting there and saying like, look, if Jimmy Butler wants to come to Golden State, let's just go get him, right? If Nikola Vucevic, I don't know how much of a fan I am of his game, but hey, man, he's scoring 20 points a game. If he wants to come play here and not for the Bulls, let's just go get him. I think there's some part of him. I think that's not what Steph usually is about. That's more like a
No,
Kobe
it's not. No, it's about. Yeah,
it's not what he's about.
it's a
But
word. It's a LeBron thing. Is what it is.
it's a LeBron thing for sure. Absolutely LeBron thing. I think Steph has kind of had enough, and it shows. I don't think he's washed because we've seen him have huge moments literally just this season. But if you were to tell me maybe the knee tendonitis is getting to him and he needs a couple of weeks off, I mean, it's not like this team is winning games anyway. I mean, maybe he just takes a week, right? So it's a rough watch, but like kind of going back to the point of like this kind of game gets people fired. So I'm like, it just at this point, how can you watch a game like this if you're Mike Dunleavy and go like, let's just ride it out for until February. When's the trade deadline? February 9th or whatever.
It's so disappointing because it's Schroder's first game. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't think Dennis Schroder was going to solve all the issues, but I loved the proactive nature of,
me too.
Let's go get a guy. Let's get a guy. Let's get a guy who can help us right now. And you know what? They looked exactly like a team who'd never played with Dennis Schroder before, like a little confused on where you cut, where you get the ball. Like you saw him like calling out to people, like, where to move and that sort of stuff. And like figuring that part of it. And like, that's to be expected. That doesn't bother me in any capacity, but man, it's just, I mean, isn't it just kind of like, this roster has been the team for 4 years, pretty much for 4 years, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you really think it's as simple as Steph is tired of waiting on Kuminga and Moody, waiting on young players to develop, tired of having to motivate veterans who aren't always motivated to play, and then just like the realistic of like, we all love Looney. He's like, and GP2, like I like genuinely two of my favorite Warriors of all time, but like they are who they are. They're role players. They're like the eighth man glue guy who you celebrate because they help you win a game. They're not like they shouldn't be the cultural focus of a team.
I like that one. Cultural focus of a team. I no, seriously, because that is what they are, and I do think he's tired of it. I do think the team's tired of it actually, and it shows the way that they're playing. They went 12 deep tonight, and this is not like, it's not Steve Kerr's fault that they lost the game by 60, but you also can't play 12 guys when 7 or 8 of those guys like don't consistently tell you that. Like Kyle Anderson was solid tonight, but he's not consistently better than like Kevon Looney, right? So the problem is then both guys play 12 minutes a game, right? Same for Pods and Lindy Waters. Like both guys play 15 minutes a game because neither of them are good enough to command 28. And so Steve Kerr has to sit here and play 12 guys. You cannot win games playing 12 guys. So yes, I think you're right. Steph is like, and I think he had a quote 2 games ago where he was like, "Hey man, we're gonna have to cut the rotation down. We got to cut it down." And how can you cut this rotation down to 8 when you can't even find the right 8? It's hard, right? How can you find the right 8?
Isn't it like what's the cliche expression when you have 2 quarterbacks, you have 0 quarterbacts? It's like when you have that many players, what you're really telling everyone is you don't know who your best players are.
No.
And no. It is kind of that. It's like, it's like a parody of Strength of Numbers. Like when they won, Strength of Numbers was actually like, it was a great expression because they had so many good players, and it was about a guy like David Lee, who was a very good player, buying into the fact that on this team he needed to do less. He needed to do less, right? This team is like, oh, we got so many guys. It's like, it's because you have no guys. You don't know who your guys are. Yeah. It's a lot of and I like, the worst part is I kind of like them all, like, but it's also like I don't actually love any of them either. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like Lindy Waters, great story. I think he's been admirably good all year. Also, if you have aspirations of being a good team, you're probably not counting on him the way the Warriors are counting on him. And I'm just using him as a stand-in, but it stands for like 8 players on this team, right? Like where you're just kind of like, these are all good dudes. They all seem like great dudes for the locker room. They all seem bought into doing their role. I don't have anything negative to say about them. Just like it's the reality. Like you're probably playing 10 minutes more per game than you should on a good team.
And I think, and we'll get to this because we got a good show tonight. We got to look at the topics, but we'll get to this. And I think this is why people, when the Warriors are looking at making trades, which again, I think they're going to make, maybe not the next week, but they're going to make at least one more trade because this is ridiculous. And people come to me and go, "Oh, we can't trade him. We can't trade him. We can't trade Wiggins. We can't trade.
What's our bench going to look like if we get rid of Kyle Anderson?" I'm like, brother, worry about the starters before we worry with the bench. You know?
That's my point. We can't trade Kuminga. We want to keep every name. Throw every name out there. I just do 3 at you, but it's like, dude, I look at this team right now, man. Like not just tonight, right? And so it's also unfair to the guys. It's unfair.
Right.
I watched Pods and Kuminga tonight at the end of the game. They're down 50, but like, dude, they're playing free, right? Pods running pick and roll. He's doing those little herd jerky thing. Kuminga's running pull-up jumpers. And look, I'm not a huge fan of either. I think people know that, but I'm watching them play free and easy at the end, and I'm just like, hey, man, free these kids. Let them go play somewhere where they can go play, especially Kuminga. So it sucks for them, and I'm sure it sucks for Kyle Anderson because I think Kyle should be playing. Yeah, it sucks.
It's like the indecisiveness ultimately screws everyone. That's like really what it comes down to. It's like nobody wins. Nobody wins. The vets are unhappy. The young guys are unhappy. The fans are unhappy. Sam and Andy are unhappy. But let me tell you a way in which you can be happy. And that's our friends over at PrizePicks. I'll tell you right now. I can be a miserable curmudgeon, but when I'm winning money, I'm a happy dude. I'm a very happy dude. Because ultimately, that's all that matters in life. PrizePicks is the best place to get in on real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions awarded in winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible for all. You just pick more or less on 2 players for a shot to win 200 extra cash. Run your game all season long with PrizePicks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I lost tonight. I got very hyped about Dennis Schroder. I played the over on every line. I was like, Schroder going for 40. This is going to be great. I'm so excited. Did not work out for me tonight, but that's okay because the way PrizePicks pays out, I don't even need to win 50% to be up all the time. Guys, it's really simple. Sign up today, get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive that $50 bonus. So automatically, you put $5 in, you're up 50. It's just easy. Download the app, use the code LIGHTYEARS, get $50 instantly when you play $5. Use the code LIGHTYEARS. PrizePicks. Run your game.
PrizePicks gets me through. PrizePicks gets me through when you're bored.
Bro, this was a PrizePicks game. There's no way around that. This is a miserable game, but I was locked in because I was like, it's like the Denzel. I'm going home.
I'm leaving here with some. I'm leaving here with some.
So I was just waiting on my lines a little bit there. It didn't work out for me tonight, but more often than not, it has.
God, PrizePicks. All right, Lightyears podcast. We're brought to you by GameTime. GameTime. Download the app, create an account, use code Lightyears for $20 off your first purchase. GameTime has a new feature called GameTime Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. GameTime Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching thousands of tickets. Also, GameTime's got everything. I mean, you got the Warriors game. Warriors are coming back home a couple days here. They're going to play the Pacers, and they're going to play the Lakers on Christmas. It'll be some good games. I think they'll get back on track. Those would be some fun ones. So you get them to basketball games. Also, they got concerts and shows. I can't go to them anymore, Sam, but my buddy just went to a couple using a GameTime.
You'll get over it.
You think so? Yeah, at some point I'll be right back on GameTime going to. He saw, man, what was it? Was it Maggie Rogers? I don't really know what that. I think it's country, but he loved it. Said he used GameTime. Said he waited till about like an hour or two before. Got some pretty decent seats, especially the Chase Center ones. They've got great audio. So GameTime. Use the code LightYears for $20 off your first purchase. Kind of back to what you get with GameTime. The lowest price guarantee. GameTime will credit you 110% of the difference. GameTime, you get ticket coverage, so your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So take the guesswork out of buying GameTime. With GameTime Picks, download the GameTime app, create an account, use code LightYears for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LIGHTYEARS for $20 off. Download GameTime today. What time is it? Game time.
Nice. All right. So I think there's a lot of disconcerting things about tonight's game, but it's not lost on me that the Grizzlies started 2 rookies. All right. Edey's a 4-year player. I know Fitz was just fucking hard as hell about that. He's excited. 4 years in college. But Jalen Wells, that's a classic.
Jalen.
Yeah. First off, so many in that.
Jalen. Yep.
But 2 years in, like a year and a half in college. He's 21, younger than Pods, younger than Kuminga and Moody. And they're getting more value out of the young players. Yeah, Jalen Wells, NorCal guy. Shout out.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, Sonoma State before transferring. But anyway, just the point stands. And you can throw in Santi Aldama, who's still on a rookie contract. Santi Aldama, I think he's the same draft class as Kuminga and Moody. I know which one of them is a better player. I like Santi. That's my guy. So,
I do too.
He was, just to confirm. I was like 99% confident, but I was like, I don't want to be that guy who fucks it up. So 30th pick in the same draft that Kuminga and Moody were in. And he's like a whopping year and change older than them. So he's not exactly, he wasn't he's Spanish, but like the 4-year player type of thing, right? So a question I often wonder about when I wanted to ask you, how much of this is Steve Kerr and his inability to develop young players? Because I don't even know what
hand on your head. You got a
bro. You know what I'm saying? And how much of it is the front office, which is, you know what? I feel like Steve Kerr wouldn't have an issue playing Santi Aldama. I feel like if they did a better job drafting it. So you get what I'm saying? Like, I think like the lame answer is it's a little bit of both. But like, where are you at with this?
It's the front office. It's the front office to me, 100%. Because you name those 3 guys, and this is the first time I've watched Jalen Wells, but I know Zach Edey only because of he's a name brand in college.
Yeah, he's a big college player for multiple years. Yeah.
Yep. I've known Santi Aldama. I've watched him for years. He's always been solid. So there are two common, I think, traits for all 3 of those players. Number one, they can all shoot the ball. I saw Edey shoot a 3 today, make a 3. But even if Edey can't shoot the 3, he's a great finisher around the rim, right? Great touch. He's not missing. You get the ball in there. He knows what he left hand. He's got a little weird hook shot. I don't even think he dunks.
He's got touch for sure.
Great touch.
He's definitely,
great touch.
Yeah, exactly.
So all 3 guys, they can score right in their role. And then number 2, I think the 3-line is the most important part. They know their role. Their upside isn't high for all those 3 players, but I don't think that matters because the Grizz have 3 guys that are like stars, right? Bane, Jaren Jackson, and especially John Moran, he's as good as ever. But they don't care. They're like, hey, we're not looking for a star. We're looking for 3 guys that can go out there and know their role. And this is where, Sam, I think this is the front office issue is they drafted guys that didn't know a role, didn't know how to play basketball, and it had to develop them into players. These guys that the Grizzlies are drafting, there's not much development that they need. Zach Edey is ready to play. Like is it a good system for him? Yeah. But he's right. Jalen Wells, he's a good shooter. Right? He's just coming in here, he's just shooting the ball. Santi Aldama is a great shooter. Right? He's a big guy, can shoot the ball, dribble, knows what he wants to do. You don't see Santi Aldama wanting to run pick and rolls. Like he knows his role. Like he's not fucking around. Like Zach Edey's not saying, I need the ball back to the basket, James Wiseman style. Like he's not standing like I need to be Shaq, right? Like these guys know.
Bro, I forgot about that. I forgot about the Wiseman post stuff.
I don't know why I brought that up. That was
but I mean, it's like a perfect example. It's like you're playing with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, and you're going like, throw me the ball. Like it's just like, bro, have some self-awareness.
But he's recovering.
Why should he? He's also like 12 years old, So.
Yeah. Yeah, and so that's where I took I think cap it off. To me, it's a front office issue. Like, why draft these guys, man? Like, draft them if you're the Houston Rockets. Have them grow together. Now the Rockets are good, right? Like, have all these young guys.
Sure.
Together. But
it's you know what it really is? It reminds me of fucking every startup. We are going to change the game. We are going to be the first company who can do the thing that no one said they could do, which was both things. And no, you can't. Sorry. Like, you're dealing with humans. You're not dealing with AI. So,
no.
And to your other point,
yep.
I was going to say, to your other point, like, it's also recognizing humans a little bit. Like, I actually think Santi Aldama can be an all-star at some point.
Ooh.
Maybe he won't. Maybe he won't. But I think he's a better player than he gets credit for. And, but he also seems like comfortable fitting in. Like, if his time doesn't come for 3 years, he's fine with it. Whereas when you're picking a guy who's been the man, who wants to be the man, what do you expect? Like, learn how to read players, you know, that sort of thing. I see the chat is killing Steve Kerr here. I don't think Steve's a particularly amazing development coach. I don't know that anyone would like argue he's a great development coach, but until you can show me a player who leaves the Warriors and turns into a star, I'm not like, I can't blame him, you know? Like, it's not like Wiseman turned into a star when he left the Warriors. He was just as much of a development project outside of the Warriors as he was in the Warriors. Maybe got more opportunity in Detroit and Indy before the injury, but he was hardly a player who's ready to play. Like, I don't think it's a Steve Kerr thing. I think Steve
I agree.
is not great for young players, but I think he also, like, let's be real, he knows who the best player in his roster is. He knows who the two best players on his roster are, right?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You going to tell Steph, go set back screens? We got to see if the kid can play for 18 months. Like, come on, man. Like, that doesn't work.
And they're trying to do this thing. I wasn't here for this, but they were trying to do this showcase for Kuminga, right? And that lasted all of a week because they're saying they packaged it to us and sold it to us as, oh, we need to go become this different. We need this change up on offense. We need to evolve, right? And we need to go see if it's possible with Kuminga. On one hand, I think the first reaction from me is going to be, that's not going to work. But two, it's unfair to him. Like, you're putting all this pressure on him to become this scorer when you've never actually given him a chance to do that. You've actually never given him a chance to say, all right, I'm going to go try this shit out and I'm going to go be this type of scorer. Every time Kuminga tries to try shit out, it doesn't work. He gets benched. So, yes, like, I don't think it works regardless, but you're also not putting him in the best position. And to me, that's front office.
You're not giving him the space to, because the reality is, if you want him to do it, you have to give him the space to fail, right?
Yeah.
There has to be enough space for him to go through 30 games of shooting terrible. And you're not going to get that with Steph. You know, like, you're not going to do that. So it's annoying. I actually think they've realized it. I just think it's too late, you know?
It's too late. Yep.
It's one of those things where it's like picking your spots and that sort of thing. So,
of course, it's too late. They're not going to get to redo the second and seventh pick again. You know what I mean? Like, you can't. I guess
it's diminishing returns no matter what. Yeah,
we'll get to this on the other side, but maybe it's not too late, right? Because they have the optionality to make trades. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Guys, before we move forward, I want to tell you about my friends over at BodySpec.
Let's go.
Let's get it. Ready to kickstart your fitness journey? Whether you're an athlete, a fitness enthusiast, or just getting back into shape, BodySpec has you covered. For less than the price of a haircut, you can get a DEXA scan, the world's most accurate body composition scan. So what's a DEXA scan? That's a great question, because I did not know that before I got it. The DEXA scan is a highly accurate method for measuring various aspects of your body's composition. So body fat percentage, we're always curious about what our body fat percentage is so we can feel bad about ourselves. Bone density, lean muscle mass, visceral fat, the fat around your organs, basically the stuff that pro athletes do to see if they're actually in tip-top shape or they're just kind of in like, I look good, but I'm not in good enough shape. We're all curious about this sort of stuff. Traditionally, it's been super expensive and hard to do if you're like an average Joe, like Andy or me. But BodySpec has made it affordable for all. So, guys, you just use the code LightYears45 at checkout, and you get a DEX scan for $45. This is a $300 scan. You're getting it for $45 with the code LightYears45. What's better is not only do they have locations in the city and LA, they have mobile vans. They'll come to you 15 minutes. This is the gift that gives on giving. Get it for your partner, get it for your brother, your cousin, troll, your fat cousin, your dad, get it for your dad.
That's personal.
Yeah, sorry. You get a mobile van, get in there, Light Years 45, DEXA scan. It's the move, man.
Oh, that was good.
Sorry.
We gotta go through my body spec. We'll do it on the next show. All right, Light Years podcast. We're brought to you by.
I've been holding my own back, by the way. But
we'll do it together. We'll do it together. We'll do it together on the next one. We'll do a 10-minute segment. Brought to you by my favorite, Manscaped. Hey, everyone, with the holidays creeping up faster than your aunt's fruitcake recipe, I've got something way better to share with you. If you want to look sharp for all these festive gatherings and maybe finally win that Best Groomed at the Family Dinner award, check out the latest masterpiece from Manscaped, the Chairman Pro Electric Foil Shaver. Trust me, it's like Rudolph for your face, guiding you to a smooth, irritation-free shave.
You see this? You see that? I'm using the Chairman Pro. How fucking slick does this look?
Dude, you always look good with the beard, man. See, the problem is guys like me really, really need this because I can't grow out my whatever I have on my face, and when I do, I always cut myself and get pimples. No, I do, and all these like bumps on my face. But I actually use this when I got it 2 weeks ago, and since then I've been good. What is it? Manscaped, the Chairman Pro Electric Foil Shaver. So look, head over to manscaped.com, join the 11 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by using code LightYears for 20% off plus free shipping. All right, let's get into the goods. Chairman Pro armed with not one, but two interchangeable skin-safe blade heads. Think of them as your grooming superheroes. The skin-safe for blade foil when you want that baby's bottom smooth, and the skin-safe stubble trimmer for when you want to keep some stubble, but clean it up a bit. The Chairman Pro isn't just for daily shaves either. It's powerful enough to tackle up to 5-day growth, making it perfect whether you're shaving every day or tidying up after a few days. It even has a travel lock to help make sure it doesn't accidentally turn on in your bag, and an LED spotlight to help you see every detail, ensuring nothing gets missed. If you know, most crucial part. Get the Chairman Pro today. Experience a shave that is as smooth as you deserve. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code LightYears at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code LightYears at manscaped.com.
It is a good razor.
It's the best.
So, look, trade rumor season. We're hyped about Dennis Schroder. We'll talk more about Dennis Schroder when they play a real game because they did not play a real game tonight. So that's great. But, we want them to make more moves. We all acknowledge the roster is not where it needs to be. And it's hard for me to not notice, because a lot of Warrior trade rumors are you and me wish casting them, but like the general public not thinking, like it's like, oh, DeJounte Murray's going to get traded. And then you see the odds and the Warriors like the 10th team most likely to get him, where it's just like, you talk yourself into it, but like no one actually believes it outside of Warrior bubble, right? The Jimmy Butler stuff, it's loud. It's a lot of people who think he's going to the Warriors. Now, I don't know if I believe them, but it's not Sam and Andy like talking about how they want Jimmy. It's like betting sites being like the Warriors are the favorite. So Bet Online says the Warriors are the favorites to get Jimmy right now. We saw Polymarket also post it. Again, I'm not saying this is the be all end all, but like it is interesting, and it looks better to see like nonpartisan stuff actually say this is a real thing, right?
I think it makes a lot of sense because Jimmy Butler is the type of player that I got a feeling that Steph and Draymond were all in on Paul George and were less all in on Zach LaVine. I know everyone's like, they could have gotten Zach LaVine. They could have gotten.
He's playing fucking phenomenal, by the way.
I just beat Boston, right? I was all in on Zach LaVine. I would have done the trade in a second. But I got a feeling that Steph and Draymond were like, all right, you guys had some hesitations about making the trade. We're not going to be all in. But I think they were like, we're all in on Paul George, right? I think it was known. They even said it. Jimmy Butler is, I think, on that Paul George. Jimmy Butler is a better player, much better player. But I think he's on that level of player where Steph and Draymond are like, yeah, we're in. Right? I think same goes for Brandon Ingram, DeJounte Murray. Those guys are on the Zach LaVine tier. We're fine because they're a little picky, right? But between the lines on the court, I think Steph and Draymond are like, we're going to play with Jimmy Butler. He's a dog. He does this. He does that. All of that. Yeah.
I think you're in on an interesting thing, and I think I agree with you, which is, look, outside of LeBron James, nobody has been in more big games than Stephen Curry and Draymond Green. And arguably they've been in more than LeBron. But like what I'm saying is like those dudes value players who show up when it fucking matters. And it's cute that Brandon Ingram can average 25. But let me see you do it when it matters. And I like Ingram, and I'm in favor of him being on the Warriors, but I'm just using him as an example of a guy who, you know, as good as he is, it's a theoretical versus an actual. Jimmy, I've watched how many players have been better in the playoffs than Jimmy Butler in the last 5 years?
Is there 5 players?
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's less than 10. It's like a handful, right? Like, all right, you know, Steph, LeBron, Giannis, Jokic, you know, and that's about it. That's
Those
about
are the
it.
4 best players in the world. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And even if they're older, but it's like Jimmy's basically played at that level when it matters. And I think that means more to Steph and Draymond than it does to the people in the comments who are saying he's too old. I think they value the mental traits and the intangible traits far more than anyone else. And it might be true. They might be too old. It might be like 1 to 2 years, 1 to 2 years too late. But like, if you want to be realistic about it, they're looking at, they're going like, you know who I don't have to worry about showing up? Jimmy Butler. You know, I don't have to worry about knowing the right rotation or how to read a defense. Jimmy Butler. That's the way they look at it. They're not worried about the fact that he's older. They're in love with the fact that he fucking knows how to play when the games matter.
I also think, because I've waffled on the Jimmy Butler stuff, but you know, brass tacks, I'm making the deal right because I'm tired of whatever we got to watch on a daily basis like tonight. But I also like, what do you even think a trade package looks like? Because from what people are saying, it's not the one that you got to give up for Lowry Markkanen. It's not the 8 pick swaps from what people are saying. Am I wrong or am I right?
No, I mean, the issue the Warriors run into with Jimmy is because they're hard capped, it's just going to cost a lot of players to match salaries. It's like, I guess it's possible without Wiggins, but it feels unrealistic. So you got to throw Wiggins in there, which is an issue because in theory, you'd want Wiggins with Jimmy Butler because Wiggins is the perfect 3rd, 4th option, just draining threes and playing defense. Like the perfect fit. So you got to throw him in there, and that sucks. And then you probably have to throw in at least 2 of Looney, GP2, and Kyle Anderson, and maybe all 3. And that's just to make the salaries work. So it's not about depleting your depth as much as it is. It's just hard to construct a team when you throw that many guys for one guy. And then now you got to go, you know, okay, so let's say you do that. All right. So you have Steph, you have Draymond, you have Butler. What do you want around those 2 guys? I want guys who can shoot the fuck out of the ball because, you know, they're probably not going to handle the ball. I need guys who can stick a shot, and maybe Buddy Hield's one of them, but he can't defend. So, you know, it's like you're starting to look for the right role players, and it's hard to come by. Like that's why the Melton injury is so damaging, because it was just such a that would have just like clearly solved one issue, right? Like that's one position there. And so it just becomes difficult with the hard cap to figure all that out at the same time. Like in theory, you could trade Kuminga for someone else, but like you have to stay under the cap. So it's just, it becomes, you almost have to do the Jimmy trade thinking you're going to re-sign him and you have 3 shots at it, if that makes sense.
And that's, I think, where it ends up is they'll make the trade and, hey, this is the last 3 years, right? Like this is it. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna ride off into the sunset, and the Warriors franchise can figure everything else out later. I would do that. And again, like partly you can't build a team around it is because they're gonna do this in the middle of the season. I think the Warriors are gonna do this, right? But like the problem is they're gonna have to do it in the middle of the season. So what?
Which kills your ability to like you do this trade in the summer. To your point, you can be like, okay, we need to get a stretch big, and you'll go get the best one you can on the market. And maybe they're not good, but you get the best one you can.
Yeah.
Mid-season, you're just kind of like, I don't know who's getting bought out. Darius Saric getting bought out. You know,
they run the risk of being old and slow. Like that is true. I mean, that is not to say they aren't old and slow right now. Let's be very clear, but. I don't know. I can see it happening. I actually kind of expect it. They need to do something. I know we got some other stuff too, but before that, the Lakers podcast is brought to you by one more thing: Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile, with big wireless providers, what you see is never what you get. Somewhere between the store and your first month's bill, the price you thought you were paying magically skyrockets. With Mint Mobile, you never have to worry about gotchas ever again. When Mint Mobile says $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan, they mean it. Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile here to rescue you with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. All plans come with high-speed data, unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan. Bring your phone number along with your existing contacts. Ditch overpriced wireless with Mint Mobile's deal and get 3 months of premium wireless service for $15 a month. To get this new customer offer and your 3-month premium wireless plans for $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/lightyears. That's mintmobile.com/lightyears. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/lightyears. $45 upfront. Payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigs on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
Nice. Question in the chat. Could we get in on the MPJ sweepstakes? Let me ask you this question. Would you trade Wiggins for MPJ? Because salary-wise, the easiest way to get MPJ would be Wiggins and GP2. Or Wiggins and Kyle Anderson.
I mean, maybe the problem with that trade is like that doesn't really like move the needle. You get something, you lose something. With Jimmy Butler, it's like you get all this good shit. You get a guy that can he could score 40 points. He can lock in on defense. Right. He's one of the best clutch players in the league. He could be a top 5 player in a big game. You get all that. With Michael Porter, it's like, yeah, cool. Like you get all the shooting. Wiggins can't shoot it like him, and he's gotten better scoring.
Although he's kind of shooting the ball like him right now.
Yeah, that is true. Again, I think it's like Wiggins, I think, is playing not to get traded. But then you lose all the defense, right? It's like, what's the net out?
I would have done this trade in the summer because I was completely out on Wiggins. I didn't believe in him. But now that he's playing better, I'm like, this is the epitome of nothing. To your point, you're getting a 5 to 10% better shooter, but a 5 to 10% worse defender. You're probably netting out the same. You haven't actually moved the needle in any way. I don't know that they can get MPJ and keep Wiggins because of the salary stuff. So it's just kind of like, I don't even bother with that, but I think it was a good question to throw out there.
It goes back to, I know you got some other questions, I'm sure, but it kind of goes back to like that Chris Paul contract in the summer. That was the one. Like that.
Yeah, I mean, because well, it's not just the Chris Paul contract. It's doing the sign and trade that hard capped them to get Buddy Hield and Kyle Anderson. Now they're just limited in what they can do salary wise, which makes everything harder for them, So
Well, it feels like they did that on purpose, honestly, because just so that they can be like, oh, we don't like Joe Lacob's. Look, everyone's unhappy, and I'm sure Joe Lacob's unhappy, but I think deep down Joe Lacob's like, well, I don't got to pay taxes. I ain't that unhappy. By the way, did you see that the Warriors are worth the number 1 team valued in the NBA more than the Celtics, more than the Lakers, more than the Knicks?
I just want to know what other front office can strike out with Paul George and Lowry Markkanen and how they want to compete now and not get fired. So that's like my personal opinion is no one asked the right questions on this stuff, and maybe we should be talking about the fact that the front office is all the fucking owners' kids, but it's a different.
I think it'd be tough to fire yourself. You know what I mean?
Mike's about to fall on the sword if this doesn't work out.
Oh
so
boy. Oh boy.
Like I never get mad at him. I don't know exactly what he does. But that sounded terrible. I don't know how much the politics of it. Yeah, exactly. So
Mike's got whatever he does, he's got a hell of a the Schroder trade was like a nice let's get this done quick. And I think you tweeted this out. You said this in the last part. It's like, hey, we're gonna do this. We're gonna see what it looks like the next couple of weeks. The Warriors might not have a couple of weeks though. Like that's the one thing where it's like, hey, we're gonna see what happens. Are they gonna have a couple of weeks, Samuel? I don't. We'll see. Okay, what do we got?
Finally, last trade rumor of the night: Big Vooch. Does this save the Warriors season? Does Big Vooch save the? I mean, the dude's shooting the fuck out of the ball. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Another guy that's trade for me. You know what I mean? Come get me.
Get me out of Chicago. Save me.
Save me. Do you think Steve Kerr would rather have Kevon Looney or Vooch in a vacuum? He just has to pick a guy to play 20 minutes.
Not even a question. I think he'd like Vooch. I think he'd use Vooch. I think he'd use Vooch the same way he uses Buddy Hield, where he knows he fits the offense. He loves the fact that he can play the read and react style and he can fit. And he's never going to put him out there when he wants a defensive stop. So it's always going to be like 20-ish minutes because he's like, all right, okay, it's tied in the fourth quarter. I need my guys I can count on. Like it's Looney time. It's Draymond time, So
I did this on.
I know he won't he's not gonna throw him out there on leverage situations. Like he's just not going to.
No, but he would solve a lot of the first 43 minutes of the game, which are pretty important. You might go down by 20 the first.
Go watch tonight's game, right?
Exactly. So I was messing around with the trade machine, and it looks like it would. The salary's not that tough. I mean, his salary's not crazy, right? So they just throw GP2 in there. Yeah, so GP2 and like slow-mo or Looney. Let's just say Steve's not letting go to Looney, so say slow-mo. And maybe if they got to fit some, maybe they throw Lindy or Moody, whatever. I think the thing is they just, again, it's like, do they want slow-mo? Slow-mo's got 3 years left. So it's like, that's kind of a problem. But let's just say the trade gets done. I think it's great for the Warriors. Let's just forget about what the trade is, but they get the trade done. I think it's great. Why wouldn't it? Why? Of course it would help.
I mean, he's a good
scorer. He's good.
He's a great passer. He's kind of
split action with Vooch.
I mean, he is off, he's Kirkland brand Jokic, right? So I don't mean that disrespectfully because Jokic is, in my opinion, top 10 all time.
7-Eleven brand, maybe,
yeah. But it's just like a big man who can hit shots, but also facilitate offense, knows how to set a screen. God, imagine the Warriors running a dribble handoff with a big who could actually fucking hit a shot if you send both your guys with him, able to pop in any way and just hit that shot. We've never seen that. And they've always prioritized defense over that ability.
Right.
And ultimately, I don't have a problem with that, but it would be nice to have a big who could run that game with Steph. And, you want to send 3 bodies at Steph. He's going to score 40, it'd be fun.
I'd love to.
It'd be a lot more fun than whatever the fuck we watched tonight.
Anything is better than you could sell me on anything. I'd love to see him play next to Kyle Anderson. I think that 4-5 would be awesome. I think if they tried to do a 4-5 with, again, we could talk about all this if and when they do make the trade, but I think the net of it is with this one, Sam, they cannot wait to make this trade. Like, just go make the trade. Like, dude, it's December 19th. You're gonna wait till February, but you might be. Do they even have their first round pick? Do they have their first round pick this year?
They do, brother.
Because they might be looking at Cooper Flag highlights in a couple weeks.
First off,
who's the other guy?
First off, I have a hot take, which is I'm a Dylan Harper guy. Shout out to
Dylan Harper. Who is Dylan Harper? Is that a guard?
Is Ron Harper's son? I'm buying him as the number 1 overall pick. That's my guy. I'm calling my shot right now. I may reverse it in 2 to 3 weeks, and if I reverse it, fuck every one of you. I'm not gonna apologize at all. But I do think. But yeah, there's a few players in this draft. Second off, before we get out of here,
okay, yeah.
How excited are you for the Warriors to have a big Christmas Day win and them to use that to propel non-decision for 3 weeks?
Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. That would break my absolute heart. The indecision stuff, I think we've talked about it ad nauseum, and it's nice for them to go make a trade right now. But that's the other thing about this team, right, Sam? Like, they don't like the difference between like a Steph and a LeBron team is like it does take a little while to like play in that system. Like with LeBron, it's like stand your ass in the corner, and it's like, but I could trade you in a week. But stand your ass in the corner, and we'll make this work or not work.
Do you think Steph's working on screen angles with Schroder right now?
Dude, I saw Steph smiling.
Looney, come here. We're gonna teach him how we do it.
Golly, man,
we're gonna end it on this. Okay. Steph's post game quote right now from our guy Danny Ehrman. I don't like the word panic. I like accept where you are and try to change the momentum of the season. Panic kind of means you don't have an answer. I do think we have answers. Obviously, a sense of urgency for sure.
I think that's a nothing burger from Steph. I think I would have liked him to say panic. It would have been cool. It would have been a little different, but a bit of a nothing burger from Steph. I wonder if he's going to take a week off here. Maybe that's the wrong way to end this show. Because first show back, I'm feeling good. I'm in a good mood. But I wonder if he takes a week off, Sam. I wonder if he does at some point.
I'm just wondering, is he just ride or die with Draymond and Kerr? Or is there a final point where he gives them the proverbial, it's over, the death sentence? That's what I'm wondering right now. Yeah, I think when are we gonna get the Michael Corleone, you broke my heart, No, I
don't think that happens. I think they're going to go down. They're going to go down with this shit.
You don't think we're getting this? You don't think we're getting this right now? We're not going to get the... It's just like my favorite movie.
Take us to Miami in an hour. They'll make a big thing about it.
Oh, my... Steph to Steve. Steph to Steve end of this year.
That's what he did. That's what he did to Clay, to be honest. But
yeah. Hey, by the way, we're gonna keep going. But the Clay stuff, I think, is people are really like, look at Clay and the Warriors. They messed it up.
Clay's been terrible, dude.
Well, okay.
He had a night on Tuesday, but
I know. Sure. How many times do we have to? Clay wanted to leave, man. It was just he wanted to leave. The Warriors knew it. He knew it. It's better. The Mavs look freaking amazing. So maybe he'll win his 5th title there. I don't know, but I get Warriors fans get really antsy about like the angsty. I think is what I'm looking for about the. Well, we could have kept it. It's like, dude, he was miserable here. He made everyone fucking miserable.
It's his time. Sometimes you just gotta call it a day.
He's happy. The Warriors are not, but he's happy. So, Jimmy Butler watch continues.
I think the only thing that I will give the Boo Birds who are mad that Clay left is it might have been time for him to go, but that didn't solve anything. You know what I mean? Like it was one of those where you're just like, I can accept that he's moved on. I can accept it's good for all parties involved, but don't try to pretend he was the reason this was going on.
Yeah,
you know,
good point.
So let's give them a little credit. Let's give them a little grace. Let's try to give them grace.
The only people that don't win here are the freaking Warriors. Shout out.
Nah.
Great stuff.
All right. Appreciate everyone. We'll be back.